Hi everyone, my name is Dan Metcalf. I'm the creator and inventor of the 60 Up Balance Board. Now, I know that so many people have had success over this whole program of the training and the system that we have, but there's one group of people that we haven't really engaged in yet, and this is what I'm so excited about to be able to share. My uncle, and let me just see if I can find a picture of him. This is my uncle. His name was Joel, and he's no longer with us anymore, but he was an incredible man. See, my Uncle Joel was born with cerebral palsy, and he spent most of his life either crawling around on the floor or in a wheelchair or just sitting down until he was able to learn to walk and become self-sufficient again by using a walker. I didn't have the 60 Up Balance Board in those days, and I wish I had of, but I spent many days pushing Joel down to the town centre in Bournemouth in England and letting him sit and listen to the band play that he loved, or just getting outside. My brothers and sisters did an amazing job giving him a full life. Now, this was the problem. A lot of people look at somebody in a wheelchair or someone that can't walk and they dismiss them. And that was one of the things that was really sad about Joel's early life and existence before my mum got so involved in his life and helped him. But Joel was an incredible man. He had such a character. When you looked into his eyes, he wasn't disabled. He was everything that people should be. He was loving, he was funny. Of course he'd get upset sometimes, he was frustrated. But inside was a very intelligent man that had passion for life that should never have been dismissed, but rather encouraged to be everything he should have been, which he ended up being. He had so many friends and lived an incredible life. So with the 60 Up Balance Board, and I've had feedback from some people saying, I'm in a wheelchair, would this be able to get me walking again? Or I haven't been able to get on the board, I'm too scared to stand up and get going. I wanted to create a program specifically for people that are in a chair and scared to stand, or more specifically, or I should say inclusively, those that are in a wheelchair. So I went out and got a wheelchair that I consider and do basic exercises that I call, it's the preliminary program to help you learn to get up and walk again. Now, there's no guarantees in life, except if you don't try, it won't work. And that's why it's so critical that we have a program, exercises that will help you get going. Now, one thing that we do know that's so exciting, and my Uncle Joel discovered this because he had such a passion for rugby. It used to be soccer, and he switched to rugby and cricket, and he'd find a way to stand up and throw the cricket ball and live the passion that was inside of him. See, the passion inside is no different relative to our body. In fact, our character is developed from the inside, and we can do so many things that many people don't think we can do if we have the right character. So we should never define somebody by the outside, but rather than what's burning on the inside. And when I looked into his eyes, I'd see so much passion and power and desire to live. So we know for a fact that if you think it, eventually you can do it, provided you engage the thought process of the brain to the body. And so many people that are stuck in chairs or in wheelchairs would turn around and say, I want to do it, I feel I could do it, but my body just won't allow me to do it. Well, we're going to start the program that's going to start reinvigorating and connecting the brain to the body and get it moving. See, it's not about how quickly you can get up and go. It's about how well you can progress. So when you do get up and go, you have a power and an ability to be successful and not fearful of the fall, but powerful in your accomplishment. So we're going to go through these programs. It's going to be a 2-part program today for wheelchair and chair training that's going to cover your complete body from feet all the way up to your shoulders, but again, going really slow. Now, the tips in here are go at your own pace. There is no speed or time or a number of reps that you have to do. Do it where you feel comfortable and feel that you're progressing. And we're going to start so small and so slow that even if you can't do it completely, over the days and weeks of training, you'll be amazed at what your body can do, because your brain is now engaging your body and sending messages. And we know that neurons will end up happening, reacting, and the muscles will start to work again. So I want to step in and teach this exercise, first part now, and I'm going to follow with the second part. So again, enjoy, trust, start with the small movements, and I'm going to take you through a program that can change your life. Let's get going. If you notice, I have water with me. Make sure you have water down by the side of your chair, because even though it's a slow movement, you're still going to end up having the need to hydrate to refresh the muscles. Now, you'll notice I'm going to sit down in the wheelchair, and what I have here is the balance board in front of me. You'll notice if you look at the back of your balance boards, there's number 1. They're inside the inside holes, number 1. Number 2 is in between the 2 holes, and number 3 is outside of the poles. We're not really going to deal with number 3 during this training program. Now, there's 2 areas of the board that I want you to be aware of. There's the top of the board, which is the surface, and then there's the back of the board, which you'll notice is here. You'll hear me tapping it. That's the back of the board, and we have the top of the board. And in between the 2, we have the edge of the board. This is the edge right here. So we're going to be using those 3 places. We'll be using the number 1s, the number 2s, the back of the board, and then the edge of the board. Okay, so you'll also notice that I have a red shoe on my right foot and a blue shoe on my left foot, so you can tell and follow along. If I say right foot, it's going to be the one with the red, so you can follow along. The last thing I want to do, and this is imperative because the system comes with yellow poles, we're going to change out the poles. So again, what we're going to do is move these to metal poles, because to do the chair training, you've got to make sure that we have the metal poles, and it's this simple. Just take these poles out, have someone do it for you. Here are the metal poles, and I'm going to put the metal poles in the outside holes and just have them clipped in. Once you have the metal poles that are so strong, you'll be in the perfect setup to be able to go ahead and start working on your transition from sitting to standing. Okay, so with that being said, we want to make sure that the chair is a good, I would say, foot length away from the board. So again, if I want to move this a little bit, I'm going to move my chair back just a little bit, and you'll notice that I've taken the legs off of the wheelchair, and I want to, if you want to keep them on, just turn them to the outside, because we want to have this area free. So here we go. Make sure you're sitting up, and we're going to work on ab work in a little while as well. Hands on the side. All I want you to do is lift your right foot slightly and just tap the back of the board. And you're just slightly behind the number 1. So what I'm engaging here is a little lift of the leg and a movement of the foot. So I'm just up and just tapping the back of the board softly. What we're learning here is the control of the muscle and the action of the foot, as if it was taking that first step forward, but without your whole body weight on the legs. There you go. So we're just tapping nice and easy through here. Now what I want you to do is stop for a second, just shake your legs a little bit, loosen those muscles up. Now look at the number 2. So I'm now going to touch my foot behind the number 2. So now we're getting used to, bring it back to the middle, we're getting used to taking our foot very slightly to the side, behind the number 2, but tapping the back of the board. Really critical, it's soft. Now, one thing that you'll notice is the board will rock naturally. So if we're doing this exercise and just moving your feet and the muscles are beginning to work, and make sure that your abs, your stomach muscles are a little bit tight and you're sitting upright in the chair. We're now changing the foot movement from a step forward to a slight step to the side. And this is really important, because as we're doing this little step to the side, we're preparing the legs to step outwards, either for change of direction or to step sideways to push ourselves back into balance. Good. Just rest it down, shake those legs a little bit. And again, your core's nice and tight, and you're beginning to use your leg muscles and a little bit of the hip flexor in here, which helps lift the knee, helps lift the leg, which is again important for the progression to learn. Now we're going to tap behind number 1, behind number 2, and down. Left foot, behind number 1, behind number 2, and down. 1, 2, down. 1, 2, down. 1, 2, down. 1, 2, down. And again, tap behind 1, 2, down. Last 1, 2, and down. Great job. Even if you're having a hard time getting the feet to move, get the mind thinking about it. Get the mind really excited about feeling that body moving, And again, even if it's small movements, you're beginning to create those neural pathways to connect all the way to your toes again. Now what I want you to do, last one, you're gonna go 1, down, 2, down. Join with me with the right foot. 1, down, 2, down. Left foot. 1, down, 2, down. Very simple. 1, down, 2, down. But what's not simple sometimes is getting those feet and those muscles working. So we're going to go nice and slow, but what you're doing is you're activating the brain to get the foot to lift, go forward, lift, go side. One more time each side. 1 down, 2 down, and then 1 down and 2 down. Good. Just shake those legs out a little bit. Now, if you have water close to you, reach down, grab your water, and have a quick drink. There you go. And again, there's no rush. This is about, you can spend all day and just do a little bit, maybe 5 minutes every hour, just getting these legs moving again. Okay, next one we're gonna do. I want you to lift your toe up and tap the back of the board behind one. So let me rephrase that, the edge of the board. So what you get, I lift my right foot up and the ball of my foot taps the edge of the board. Now, if you notice, if you go hard, the board will rock side to side. So what we want to do, and it's okay if that happens, what we want to do is have it where you just lightly tap the edge of the board. So my left foot comes up, taps the edge. And what I'm learning here is slow control of my muscles and my foot. So I'm pulling my foot up and tapping the edge. Pull my foot up, tap the edge. So the ball of my foot is just touching, and as soon as I feel it touch, I bring my foot back again to the ground. There you go, excellent. So we just got the edge. Good, go at your own pace, nice and slow. If you want to go a little faster, because you're getting it, or as the weeks go on and you're really progressing, feel free to go faster. There you go, good. Now the next one I want to do is you're now going to do the same thing, but you're going to tap the edge of the board behind the number 1 and the number 2. So watch one time, I'm going to do right foot and left foot, but join in if you'd like. I lift my foot, tap behind number 1, tap behind number 2, come down to the ground. Behind number 1, behind number 2, back to the ground. Let's go, right foot. Edge of the board, down. Edge of the board, and I'm tapping so softly because I don't want the board to rock. But if by accident I tap a little hard and the board rocks, that's okay, because we'll learn to soften that touch up again. Touch, touch, down. Ball of the foot 1, ball of the foot 2, down. And ball of the foot 1, behind number 2, and down again. Good, and rest. Now, one thing that I'm just moving the board back to the center. One of the things that I want to point out here though, is that whether you're in a wheelchair or whether you're just in a regular chair, these are motions that everybody does. If you're standing, we still do these exercises. So don't look at it and say, oh, this is too easy or this is too remedial. No, it's not. What this is it's helping your brain to reconnect, to get the confidence to stand up and get on the 60 up so you can get full mobility eventually in movement. Okay, so here we go on the next one. I now want you to lift up, and on the top of the board, you're going to tap the number 1. But to do that, we've got to move just a little closer. So I'm going to bring my wheelchair just a little bit closer so I feel that my knees are in line with my feet. And all I'm doing, I'm going to lift up, and I want my toe to tap the top of the board. So my knee lifts up, my toe drops and taps behind the number 1. Join in with me. Lift the knee, tap the toe, bring it down. Lift the knee, tap the toe, put it down. Lift the knee, tap the toe, bring it down. Lift the knee, tap the toe, bring it down. Good, and one more time. Lift the knee, tap, bring it down. Lift the knee, tap the toe behind the number 1, halfway along the board and down. That's fantastic. So if you've progressed to here, you're ready to go to the next level. Now the next level is a double movement. Let me explain that one to you. You're going to lift your knee, you're going to tap your toe, you're going to tap your heel behind the number 1 on top of the board and bring it down again. So give it a try with me. Again, we're going to lift the knee, tap the toe behind the number one, tap the heel behind number one, and bring your foot down. Let's go to the left side. Lift your left knee, tap behind the one, tap behind on the heel, and bring it down. Let's go again. Lift your knee, one, heel, down. Left foot, lift, toe, heel, down. Now we're going to keep doing this, but what I want to explain to you, if you look, we're looking at the flexion, the movement of the foot and the ankle in a walking motion. Because normally, and we're going to move on to that one in a second, you'd normally have the foot changing its angle as you walk. So hold it here. Now we're going to reverse it. So now you're going to lift. You're going to put your heel, toe, and down. Lift your knee, heel, toe, and down. Now think about this. As you walk from your heel to your toe. So we're beginning to get the motion of the foot hitting the ground and going onto the toe. Heel to toe, heel to toe. Are you ready? Here we go. Right foot. Lift it up. Heel, toe, down. Heel, toe, down. Heel, toe, down. Heel. And if you can do this without the board rocking, you've got fantastic muscle control of placing your foot with the right pressure exactly where you want it to go. And if you do have the board hit the ground, so I'll do it on purpose, heel, toe, it's okay, because we're learning to get the legs moving and the toes integrating. Last one on the left. Are you ready? Heel, toe, and down. Good, just shake those legs out. I'm gonna grab another drink of water. I can feel that it's hot already. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna build this up a little bit further. Watch one time. Same motion, because we wanna look at a walking motion. We're gonna go heel, toe, then go to number two, heel, toe, and down. So what we're working on here is the ability to place your foot to the side and have that flexion and motion. You'll feel your leg muscles working, the hip flexes your core. Make sure you're still sitting up and not sliding forward. Push that butt back into the chair. Good, and here we go. You ready? We go heel, toe on one. Now heel, toe on two and down. Let's go to the left side. Heel, toe on one. Heel, toe on two and down. Let's go again, the right side. Heel, toe move. Heel, toe down. And heel, toe, and down. And again, right foot. One, heel, toe, behind number two. Heel, toe, and down. And let's go on the left. Heel, toe, and back down again. Great job. So again, what we're working on here is the ability to multitask the movement in a flow area. So we go heel, toe, no different than if you were standing up and beginning to take those steps forward again. So these exercises are critical for you to do. Okay, here we go on to the next one. What I want you to do now is we're just gonna go a toe tap with 1, 2, down, and we're going to do it 3 times on one side, so the brain gets used to one repetitive motion on one side and then it can focus on the other. Are you ready? Here we go. Lift the right foot. 1, 2, down. Right foot. 1, 2, down. And again, 1, 2, down. Now let's go to the left side. 1, 2, down. Toe, toe, down. And again, toe, toe, down, and again, toe, toe, and down. Good. Now we're going to do it one side then the other, so now the brain gets used to working on one side straight to the other. Are you ready? Here we go on the right side. 1, 2, straight to the left. 1, 2, down. And again, try not to have the board rocking too much, because what that means is that you're in control of the pressure that you're applying by moving the leg exactly how you want it to move. But again, remember, if it's not perfect to begin with, and I was going a little heavy in here because I can't control the muscles, that's okay, because we've got to start somewhere. And just starting is the beginning of success. So again, Don't worry so much about being perfect. Just get the body moving. Last time through. 1, 2, down, and 1, 2, down. Very good. Shake the legs out. Now we're going to move on to our first part, which is actually being, so I've got one more thing to do in here. Move the chair just a little bit closer to the board. Not too much, but just a little bit, because now we're going to put our whole foot on the board. I want you to lift your right foot, put it on the board, and push it to the ground. Lift it back. Take your left foot, put it on the number 1, push it to the ground. Bring it back. Take your right foot, put it on number 1, push it to the ground. And I want you to feel, bring it back, feel the weight, feel the strength in your leg. Actually feel the pushing on the board. We're up and we push. Bring it back. Last time, number 1, push and down. There you go, good. Now what I want us to do is we'll do the number 2. So put your foot behind the number 2. It's a slightly wider position. Push and actually lean slightly onto that leg like you're leading your body towards it, then bring it down. Take your left foot, put it on, the board will touch the ground, and begin to lean onto that leg so we feel a little strength coming back in. Lift your foot, put it on number 2, and push, begin to lean. Good, and we're going to advance this on the next one. Put your foot on number 2, push it, begin to lean. There you go, great. Now, what I want you to do is put your hands on the arm of the chair, or if you have just a regular chair, put it on the edge of the chair. Now, push on the 2, push yourself forward, and just push that leg. You're not trying to stand up, you're just pushing that leg on the board. Sit back. Now, as you do, push forward and feel that weight going onto that leg, and sit back. We're gonna go 2 more each side. Push, and you'll notice this is the beginning start of looking to stand up. But we're only working on one leg right now, but it's like we're getting into a body position to be able to step, so like I'm about to stand up. Push, and come back. Last one on the left, push, and there you go, back to the middle. Okay, get a quick drink of water. It's amazing how much, even though we don't think we're working, our muscles are working so much, and our brain is working, and we know when the brain works, oxygen is being absorbed by our brain to work, and that causes obviously the oxygen. We have to reoxygenate, which creates more need for breathing, and the oxygen gets carried by your blood, so we want to make sure we stay hydrated because the blood will flow better when you're hydrated. Okay, now we're going to move the chair all the way forward. What I'm going to do is move your chair, either a regular chair or a wheelchair, all the way up until it touches. I can feel the wheels touching the board, and then lock it back out again. Okay, great. What I want you to do now is just sitting up, make sure your butt is pushed back in the chair so you're upright as much as you can be, and just rock the board side to side. Perfect. There you go, just a nice easy motion. You'll find your feet behind 1 and 1 won't have that much work to do. It's a little pressure, but what we're learning here and teaching is for the brain to control the body movement. I'm pushing with my left, I'm pushing with my right. I'm pushing with my left, I'm pushing with my right. Again, this is critical for us to be able to be in a great position to begin to get that feeling of walking again, so the muscles are engaged and working. Now what I want you to do is find the middle of the board. And just feel that balance. Now to balance it, you have to have equal pressure on both feet, which means you're in control of your muscles and they're working to engage that board. Let's rock again. There you go, good, just nice and easy. I like that. Again, you could do this while you're watching TV, because even though it seems so simple, what you're doing while you're watching TV, and I have this with people that are standing on the board, your brain is focused on your body movement while your mind is watching the TV. So if you're in there and doing this, you're working the muscles and beginning to get them thinking independently of you thinking, if that makes sense. So it's feeling what's happening while you're thinking of something else. Good, and come and find the balance. Excellent, so we're going to progress this because you're doing fantastic. Lift the left leg and push, so it's just a small lift as we're now pushing. So again, don't lift too high, Because again, we want to work the hip flexors, but we don't have to lift it up so high that it's a strain. We want to keep it just small movement. Now, if you look, we're actually in the walking motion of the leg coming up, and I want you to feel your heel touching the board first and then pushing with your toe, but your foot stays flat. It's just as you go, feel the pressure go from your heel to your toe. Heel to your toe. There you go, good. Excellent. Now come and find your balance. Brilliant. Because again, what's happening is the brain is controlling the pressure of the muscles and the weight of the legs to be in control. Last one. I'm going to give you a little bit of a test. Let's just rock side to side. Good. Start lifting your legs as you're rocking side to side. So we're doing some combination work right now. Awesome. And if this is the 10th time you've done it, just feel the difference in your progression. Now rock side to side. Now find your balance. Now rock side to side. And again, if you can't do it, don't get frustrated. Find your balance. Lift your leg. Don't get frustrated, because what you're doing is you're beginning to start the journey of your brain feeling your body again. And this is critical. Without this step, it isn't ever going to work as good when you finally get up and start walking again. If everything works as planned, then I guarantee whatever work you've done, you'll be better than you were. I guarantee doing work will help more than waiting for somebody else to do it for you. Good, just rock side to side, find your balance. Rock side to side, find your balance. And rock side to side, find your balance. Excellent. Now you're in control of movement of your legs as you're going, and find your balance. Good, excellent. What I want you to do now is take your feet and put them at 2 and 2. Now, feel how it's a little different because your legs are wider apart. And while you're in that position, hold the balance, grab your water, and have a little bit of water. There you go. Well, again, always remember, stay hydrated, keep drinking. So now we're in the wheelchair or in your chair, feeling kind of like a king or a queen, right? This is your throne, and you've got all this power. Now I want you to just rock side to side again, and feeling the pressure of pushing down with your legs very slightly wider apart. This will help if you take a step and begin to push one way, you can push back to the middle again, because balance is not about standing upright. That's your skeletal posture. That's your strength of your muscles and your alignment, helping you stay in the center. Balance is being able to feel when you begin to change from the center and come back to the center where you feel comfortable and safe. Good. So from here, find your balance. Good, and then rock side to side and find your balance. Good, try lifting. Lift your right leg, lift your left leg, and again, place it back, and you can keep looking down and checking you're behind the number 2, but you're just in here working that number 2 position, lifting the legs. There you go. Now rock side to side and find your balance. And rock side to side and find your balance. And one more time, rock side to side and find your balance. Good. Now what I want you to do is I want you to move your feet from 1, 1, 2, 2. 1, 1, 2, 2 as you rock the board. So my right foot goes to 1, I lift my left foot, 1. I lift my right foot, 2, and 2, and 1, and 1, and 2, and 2, and 1, and 1, and 2, and 2. And keep that process going, even if it's so slow. Some of you out there are going to be doing incredibly well, but only going at half the speed. I'm going to go at half the speed just to show. I lift my leg, I put it there. I lift my leg, I put it there. I lift my leg, I place it on 1. I lift my leg, I place it on 1. And even if you can only lift your foot just a little bit, it's almost like a slide. As long as you're activating the brain to get those limbs to start working, you will get stronger. So again, small. Now what I want you to do is go 2 and 2 and find your balance. Good. And then go 1 and 1 and find your balance. And then go 2 and 2 and find your balance. And go 1 and 1 and find your balance. There you go, good. So the last thing we're going to do at the end of this first part is I want you to put your feet on 1 and 1. And all I want you to do is put your hands on your knees and lean forward. And then sit back. And as you lean forward, press your feet into the board. And you should be able to keep it balanced if you're pushing with both feet evenly. If you find that you push more with one side, that's okay. Bring it back to the middle and sit back. And here we go. You go forward and sit back. Because what we want to learn here is the ability to put the same pressure on both legs. And that's told to you because the balance board will only do what you do. So if you push more on the right, the board will go to the right. If you push more on the left, the board will go to the left. So it's just here and just going forward. There you are. Now take your feet and put it on 2 and 2. Same thing. Nice and tight in the abs. Squeeze those abs now. The way you squeeze your abs is as you go forward, think about tightening those muscles and blow out your air. So now you can feel those muscles. We're going to tighten those muscles up so our core gets stronger. There you go. Good. And just pushing forward. Put your hands on your knees. You can even push on your knees if you'd like and feel your weight on that board. There you go, good. And push. Good. So the finish of this part, and this is the final exercise like I said, is I now want you to go back to 1 and 1. All I want you to do is push down on your feet and touch the poles. And then sit back. And again, push down your feet, grab the poles, just touch them, not even pulling them, and then sit back again. And again, poles and sit back. And last one, poles and sit back. Very good. Let's move our feet to 2 and 2. There you go. Now, what I want you to do is just push and sit back. And as you go forward, squeeze those abs and sit back. And again, blow out, squeeze your stomach and feel those feet pushing into the board. You can even use your hands to push a little bit. Here we go, 2 more. Squeeze those abs and back. And last one, squeeze those abs and come and sit back. Good. So now we finish up with the last part. Go forward, touch the poles, push your feet, and then come back. And again, go forward, push your feet, and come back. And again, push your feet, hold the poles, and come back. Go forward, push on your feet, pull the poles. You can even pull the poles a little bit and feel your feet pushing back on the board and come back. And the last one for the end of this section, come forward, pull those poles, push forward, and then come and sit back again. Fantastic. So that's the end of the first part of the wheelchair training to get you the confidence and get your muscles working in the lower half of your body to start the process of getting up onto the 60-up balance board. Now, when I come back, we're going to move on to the second section of this exercise. It will be another live video that will also be uploaded to YouTube so you can repeat this. And again, reach out, ask questions, because it's really important that we begin to get the body movement, get the confidence up, because if you get rid of the fear, you have freedom. There's the 2 F words, right? There's fear and there's freedom. You've got to conquer the fear to have freedom, and the only way to conquer the fear is to have a safe program that's going to take you slowly through and you go at your own pace. Be smart, don't rush it. Tap into the brilliance of you. Tap in to what your character, your soul. I go back to my Uncle Joel. He loved life, he loved people, he loved getting up, and he loved doing new things or being able to redo things that he wasn't able to do as he got older, because he started tapping back into his desire. So don't listen to your body as much as you listen to your desire, your passion, what you'd like to do, and let that lead your work, and then listen to your body, what it's doing and what it can do, and we slowly build this back up again to where you start living and working back towards your dreams. Every day is a gift, and every day is a gift because it gives you the opportunity to do something you hadn't done maybe in a long time or never thought you'd do again. And this is the start of the process of movement and beginning to learn to stand and be confident on the 60-up balance board. So have a great rest of the day. Go back, practice these exercises. Have the board sitting in front of you while you're reading. Do different exercises, change it up, go slowly and move on to the next as you feel successful, and we're going to help you become better than you ever thought you could be again. Have a great day. Thanks so much.